Okay, this is a very simple recipe where we are going to use dates. Dates are a fruit found in the produce section of the grocery store. They have a stem and a pit. I'm pulling the stem out of the dates. I'm getting rid of those. I'm throwing them in the garbage because I don't want them to end up in my candy bars. Now I need to take the pit out of the date. Most of the time, your dates are soft enough for you just to pull them open with your fingers. If you want to use a knife to have a cleaner cut, but dates are pretty soft. So we're just going to cut them lengthwise. And we're taking the pit out. The pit looks like a pecan, but the pit is not edible. They're very hard and they can hurt our teeth. So we want to make sure we get all the pits out. Now I am using a knife this time because we're going to stuff our dates. Now, if you have a date that's bad, you will know because when you open it up, the seed, the pit might actually be like rotting. So if you have a black powder on the inside of a date, you can throw that date away. I am using a shredded, unsweetened coconut. We're going to add a little bit of honey. That's going to make our coconut sticky. So we could use honey or maple syrup or agave nectar. Those would all be a sticky sweetener, but we don't want the store or the manufacturers to add the sugar for us because they're going to add the cheapest form of sugar. They're going to use processed cane or beet sugar, and we're using a local raw honey. So what is similar is not the same. Okay, so we're going to put our coconut and an almond inside each date. This was actually a really fun recipe to come up with. I was thinking of all different candy bars and different ways to make them. I was super proud of myself for coming up with this recipe. And I can say that I tested this recipe on my family and my neighbors, and they were all amazed at how good these were. Okay, so your dates are really soft and you can smush them together. So you're going to smush your coconut inside there with an almond and then squeeze your date back together. So let's talk about dates for just a minute. Dates are a fruit. You can find them in the produce section of the grocery store. If you buy dried ones, not fresh ones, they will not be as easy to work with as these are. Dates are heart healthy and they're high in potassium. Potassium can lower our blood pressure. That's good for our heart. Dates are very sweet. These have lots of natural sugar in them, but along with that, at least they have the fiber. Okay, so I've melted some chocolate chips and I am using semi-sweet from Enjoy Life. Okay, we want to go as dark of chocolate as possible. So we want the semi-sweet. 60%, 70% or more to have some of the antioxidant benefits. Okay, so my chocolate here, I want to point out this chocolate is a little on the thick side. You can thin out your chocolate by adding some coconut wood. I melted a little more chocolate and I'm drizzling some on top where I couldn't dip them. I didn't want the coconut in the chocolate. Okay, so they're on wax paper. I'm adding a little more chocolate. Now I'm going to let them harden. I'll let that chocolate cool. When they come out of the refrigerator, they look like this. If they have extra chocolate around the base, you can just crack that off. Oh, look at our Almond Joys. They look good, don't they? All right, a few more here. Okay, so I want you to think about your favorite candy. And then I want you to get creative and think about how you could make your favorite candy. I think you're going to be surprised at how good these are. And I promise you that every single candy you like can be made in some way simple and healthy. While we have our dates out, I thought we'd get creative Again, we're going to look for stems. We need to take those stems out, and we need to take the pits out. So I had this great idea when I was coming up with my candy bar idea, and that is to make stuffed dates. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut these open, and we're going to take the pit out. What else could we put inside of our dates? Could we do peanut butter cups? Like we put peanut butter or sun butter or tahini. So let's talk about peanut butter cups. We would put peanut butter inside of our dates and dip them in chocolate. I mean, that's really the same thing, you guys, as what we did last year when we made sun butter cups. We mashed up sun butter and dates, and then we melted chocolate, and we got little candy cups, and we put melted chocolate in with our dates and our sun butter in the middle. And then we melted more chocolate on top. We refrigerated them, and then we popped them out of the candy molds. Now I have a variety here. I have cashew butter. I have almond butter. I have mini chocolate chips. I have dried strawberries. So we're going to go ahead and stuff our dates, dip them in chocolate, then we can let them chill. These are such a great snack. Like if you made a batch of these for the week and you put them in the refrigerator, and then whenever you're hungry, just pull one out. Okay, so I'm just using a spoon here to dip it into my melted chocolate. Okay, what other creative ideas do you have for stuffed dates? This is a great thing to do with your family. Get some cashew butter, some sun butter, almond butter, maybe peanut butter if you use that at home. You can get dark chocolate, you could get white chocolate. You can get some dried fruit, some mini chocolate chips, shredded coconut, dye-free sprinkles. Make sure they're dye-free, and set up a station where everybody gets to stuff their dates. Make them all different and everyone try something new. Okay, I'm going to try something different in these. I have some chocolate almond butter that I got from Trader Joe's, and I'm going to stuff these now with chocolate almond butter. I'm going to dip them in white melted chocolate, and I also stuffed in some dried strawberries. So these will taste very different. These are going to be chocolate strawberry, and white chocolate has a different flavor as well. And this is what they look like. I would store these in a Rubbermaid or a Tupperware or a Pyrex bowl with a lid. Now, why do we want to make our own sweets and treats? Because what is similar is not the same. Everything we make at home is going to be healthier.